Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another VinnyVid Productions. In this video, I am going to do a special request. I had a couple of my subscribers that want to know how this works. One of them is Terry, Penn Central 99, and the other one is Dave, Are You a Train Man Too? So they wanted to know or see how the crossing signals work. So I will be doing a demonstration on a mock-up, and I will also show you the wiring diagram and give you an idea of how it works. And after I do the wiring diagram, I will show you the steps I took to get the mock-up going, and we'll give it a test run. But anyhow, I could not do this on my layout. It's kind of tough, and you'll see why with all the wires and stuff, and I would have too much stuff on my layout to move around to do the video. But anyhow, the demonstration will show you how it works and how well it works actually, and you'll see how it goes from there. At first I had problems with the bell, but I finally got the bell working, so you'll see that later on. And Carmine, pack belt, if you happen to be watching this, stay to the end because you'll see why I want you to stay to the end. Anyhow, I am happy to announce that in this past week I have gone over 200,000 views, and I thank everybody for that. It's astounding how much people watch my stuff. But anyhow, cut this short and let's get right into the video. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Alright guys, what you're looking at here is a wiring schematic for the grade crossing circuitry, and I'll show you and give you a basic idea of how it works, and then I will do a mock-up and on my table here, and we'll see how it works. Anyhow, what we're going to do is let me get these parts right here. Sorry about that. Anyhow, we will start down here at the power supply. It says to use anywhere between 9 and 18 volts DC. Both of these take the same power requirements, so you can use one power supply. And what I use for power supply, believe it or not, is one of these. And I know that you guys have some of these. This one happens to be a bit small. It gives you all the information you need to see right here. This one's only 7.5 volts, so this one's no good for this operation. This unit here is the bell module, and it looks like this. And I have it oriented the same exact way. Now, the speaker could be any size, but it needs to be 8 ohms. The two terminals here need to get a loop, and then like I said, the power supply will feed here, and it'll come up and feed here also, and it also feeds the crossing signals. Next, for this to work, from the TO terminal on the main circuit board, which is this one right here, will come out here and go into the bell crossing module, and this is probably going to be supplying the ground or the current or whatever. Anyhow, I also have this board oriented the way you see it on the paper, so we'll get on to the next part of this. This here is a track, not a very good drawing here, but it's a track. And these are your photo cells. There's 4 of them. Now the way this operates is, if a train's coming from this direction and it covers WF, it'll automatically get the lights and or the bell and or the grade crossing gates if you have them. So it will come down. This is the ground wire. They all have a common ground wire, and it comes down into here to where it says ground on the control module. So train coming here covers this one, and as it goes across, the last car that passes over this one will turn the lights off. Now, if a train is coming this way and the module doesn't see this one getting covered, after 35 seconds it'll turn the lights off. So that's good for switching operations, you know, so you don't want to have the lights going or bell going all the time. Alright, each one of the terminals here is marked with EF or PF, PN, and then WNF or something like that. Anyhow, I can't see them from here. Anyhow, each one of these has a designated terminal on the circuit board. I'm assuming, because I don't know how the electronics are working in here, I'm assuming that this is going to supply whatever, the ground or the power to operate the crossing signals. And check out the drawing on these crossing signals, guys, huh? Monet's got nothing on me, tell you that right now. Alright, now, there is an option. It says here, there's an option for day or night operations with a separate diagram because I couldn't fit it in here. Anyhow, this is what it would look like. So basically it's the same thing. These are all your ground wires. And what you would do is you would break the ground wire, which is this one here, put a resistor in there and a single pole double throw switch. And that'll give you differentiate between the lighting situation that you're currently using. Down here is a switch. It's a setup switch. For you to be able to set up the sensor sensitivity, this switch needs to be in the closed position or the on position. And once it's in the on position, it won't operate the way it's supposed to until you flip it back to the off position. But anyhow, when you put it to the on position, there's a red LED that's right here. You turn each pot all the way down. These are adjusting pots right here. You turn the adjusting pots all the way down counterclockwise, and then one at a time you bring it up until the LED just barely comes on. As soon as it comes on, you just turn it back counterclockwise again until the light just goes off. And you repeat that for all pots. Make sure you put your switch back into the off position, otherwise it won't work. What else? Excuse me. These terminals right here are if you have a tortoise machine or some sort of a machine that you want to operate. Tortoise machine to work the arm on the crossing gate would hook it up to these terminals right here. Okay, now you're going to be using, I'm going to be actually using 3, but I didn't feel like showing up Monet so much, I only did 2. But we have the wires coming out of the grade crossing. You would go into these 2 terminals down here, and then you would just piggyback the next one and then the next one. The system will handle up to 12 LEDs. I just happen to have 12, so I might not hook up one or 2 of the wires on 2 of the separate crossing gates. And that'll eliminate 4 LEDs. Anyhow, the next part of this video, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to do a mock-up, and let's see if this actually works. I know it does because I had it on my previous layout. It works pretty damn good. Anyhow, another guy that you can check out if you want to see the operation of them is CHNNE Railroad, Sheldon. He's got his fully operational now, and he did a really good job on it. He's got some different kinds of setups on there. Anyhow, stay tuned and we'll be back for a little bit more. Alright guys, what you're looking at here is my beginning of my mock-up for the grade crossing that I'm going to be showing you guys. First thing I did was I marked the sensors according to the electrical schematic. I also secured a piece of track here and I drilled all my holes for the sensors. Then what I did was I soldered my wires onto my sensors. What I'm going to be using, since I have a lack of wire, is if you guys remember when I was doing my Helix, I used a piece of rail as a bus bar, and so that's what I'm going to do for the ground wires on this here, because they will all be common. So stay tuned, and we'll start hooking this up, and we'll see how it goes from there. So be right back. Alright, one thing I forgot to mention is the sensors are not polarity sensitive, so you can wire them up any way you want. The black on here is just to protect it from shorting out against each other. It won't hurt anything if it does short out, the system just won't work. So anyhow, let's continue on. I'll be right back. Alright guys, the next step was I went ahead and added the ground wires from the sensor to my rail down here, as you can see it. Also, the first module is hooked up, and that is the speaker module. The only thing I need to do now is run a wire from the main control board over to the bell control board. So stay tuned and we will be right back. Alright guys, the next thing I did was wire up the sensors to the main control board, and also I ran my wire from the control board over to the bell module, so the bell module is complete. The next thing I'm going to be doing is hooking up the signal itself. So stay tuned and we shall be right back. Alright guys, I'm going to use Old Faithful, my MRC power pack that I've had, and I got it set at 12 volts. Let me get you back down here to the modules, and I'll show you that everything is hooked up. So basically all I gotta do is get the power to it and we'll give it a test run. So hang on and we'll be right back. Alright guys, the first thing we're going to do on this is see if it actually turns off after 35 seconds without going over the second sensor. I don't know why the bell is not working right now. I'll have to figure that out later on. But anyhow, let's give this a shot. And look at that, works perfect, 33 seconds. Anyhow, let's go ahead and give it the next test, which will be if a train was coming from this direction, oops, and going across the entire track, and let's see if it turns off when we get past the sensor that is here. So let's get this going now. Alright, so I'm just going to use my finger and we get it started. And let's say we got a long train going through, and then we'll come across the next sensor and it should shut off in about 3 to 5 seconds. And there you go. So that is my mock-up of the Gray Crossing. Gray Crossing Pro is the name of the company. You guys can look it up online and you can see all the directions in it. There's lots more stuff you can do with this. I'm just doing the basic setup, and so that's why I did a mock-up first, because as you can see, the mess of wires I got there, and so it was easier for me to do a mock-up rather than do it on my layout. Anyhow, basically it'll be set up the same. The distance between the sensors, just remember that you have to be within 35 seconds of the first sensor to the second sensor. If you don't make it to 35 seconds, the lights will shut off. Anyhow, I think this was a good demo. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And as always, your questions, comments, input, and subs are always welcome. For now, that's all folks. BNSF 6951 out. Alright guys, now that you've seen how it works, I'll give you a little bit of information on the control panel itself. If you are using gate motors to operate the arms of the crossing gate, this right here will adjust the time it takes for the gate to come down and go up. That'll be to your own likings, whatever you like to do there you can do. Right here is your setup switch. They both have to be in the off position in order for the system to work. Here's the LED that I spoke about earlier, and these right here are the pots to adjust the sensitivity for the sensors. Alright, now let's move over to the bell module, and I really don't know why it's not working yet. But anyhow, on the bell module you have a volume control. And that volume control is right here. Anyhow, you can adjust the volume to your liking again. I don't know where I'm going to mount the speaker. Most likely I'll put it inside a building. The fire department looks like it's big enough to hold the speaker, so we'll see how that goes from there. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned and we'll get back to the rest of it. Alright guys, during my editing process I realized I didn't show you the opposite direction, so we're going to go ahead and, oops, turn my phone back on. We're going to go ahead and do the 35 second test first. So let's see if we can get that going. Alright. Alright, we just lost a couple of seconds there. So whatever it is, we'll just add those couple of seconds on. I think the time should be just a bit shorter, but I guess they have their reasons for doing it at 35 seconds. Alright, so we're going to add about 3 or 4 seconds onto that, so approximately 30 seconds. Alright, we got that done and out of the way. Let's go ahead and do the full crossing. Alright, and we'll start it going. And then switch my fingers around and we'll cross the second one. And then now once we get across that third sensor, 3 to 5 seconds and the light should go out. And there you go. Works like a charm. Just got to figure out why the bell module's not working. Anyhow, again, thanks for watching, and as always, your questions, comments, input, and subs are always welcome. I'm glad I did this requested video for my subs. Gave me actually a little bit of practice. Anyhow, talk to you guys later. BNSF 6951 out. Alright guys, I really couldn't leave this video going without getting the bell working. One thing about troubleshooting that I have learned as being an automotive technician for as long as I have been, you always check the last thing you did first to see if that's the problem. And so that's what I did. I went back to the original wiring diagram and my diagram, and I just had it wired wrong. So anyhow, let's give you a little demonstration. And there you go. Works like cream puff. Anyhow, I just wanted to get this in there because I couldn't let it go without having the bell work and show you the full operation. I thought there would be a little bit of a rate adjustment on the module for the bell, but there isn't, just the volume control. And let me tell you, my buddy Carmine told me that the size of the speaker is not for how loud you can get it, but for the quality of the sound. And Carmine, you are 100% right. That bell sounds really good. Anyhow, again, thanks for watching. That's all for now. BNSF 6951 out.